elevated split squat with foot cueing. So as we go down into the rear foot elevated position, finding that inside edge of the heel, the big toe mound, allowing our sits bones to stay lifted on the backside so we're creating some length on the back of the booty. As I come up, I'm connecting with that outside edge of the heel. Being able to kind of sense those heel pressures is going to be key for you sensing and feeling different parts of your glute and accessing different ranges of motion. So as I go down into my split squat, coming down, I'm going to find and root through my big toe mound, inside edge of the heel, get grounded into the floor, sits bones are lifted, and as I come up, I'm going to find that outside edge of the heel. Sometimes I even place my right hand on the outside of my right hip just to keep it in check. Make sure I'm not hiking that hip and feel a little bit of glute control. Coming down, sits bones lifted over the midfoot, ground in. If you have a higher arch, you can place a sock or something underneath the arch, and then come up. If you feel like the hip needs a little more control, you can hold the dumbbell on the outside of the right leg, especially if those femurs, the leg bones tend to kind of come in a little bit. This will help with that glute control. So as you come down, depending on where your weight is, you're going to root into the floor, keeping that rib pelvis connection, sits bones lifted, ground into the floor, and then I'm going to connect with that outside edge of the heel. So what it looks like is as you come down, you're connecting with that inner part of the foot, and then as you come up, you're connecting with this outside edge of the heel. This is really helpful if you're a little bit more on that hypermobile side, wanting to do a rear foot elevated, because as you connect with that outside edge of the heel, you're going to feel a lot of glute as you stand up. If you have trouble like me, keeping that first met on the ground, you can place something underneath, like a mini band underneath there as well. Ground through, load into the ground, exhale, come up, and come to stand, finding that outside edge of the heel. Play around with the inhales and exhales. If you're someone who carries a lot of tension on the back side of the pelvis or pelvic floor, inhaling down might be helpful, so you can think about breathing and expanding into those tissues. If you feel a little bit more control, exhaling down, which is kind of synonymous with that pelvic floor lift and internal rotation, then you can exhale down and inhale up as you find that outside edge of the heel.